Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and if you were in my stream last night, you will understand that a certain Fraud Tony, of course, has to now fabricate drama in order to get any sort of content for his channel, where he claims that I quote-unquote crashed out. I think it's absolutely hilarious that he's trying to, of course, tag a bunch of people like Eric July, as well as Ripalorian, who is Carrow Brown, over on Twitter, saying that she is making false allegations towards a platform and towards other creators, which doesn't exactly happen because, of course, by his own admission, she doesn't give any actual names and she doesn't say the name of the site that they claim that she's saying. She obviously had a misrepresentation. She even goes on and talks with the Fund My Comic people, over on the Twitter account, and explains to them that, yes, there was a misrepresentation going on where she has dyslexia and she said the wrong name. But you're going to read this and we're going to go through everything just really quick. This is going to be a pretty easy video to make because it's absolutely hilarious watching these clowns looking for W's and looking for drama to fabricate, as they always do. So he says, just curious, did Eric July order Ripalorian to slander Fund My Comic and Indiegogo, or did she quote-unquote go rogue when she claimed both sites were slamming creators with hidden fees, quote-unquote hidden fees? I'm sure there are hidden fees, that's why they're called hidden fees, but we really don't truly know if there are indeed hidden fees. However, she does explain that a creator reached out to her and talked about hidden fees over on Indiegogo specifically. Now, I'm going to show you here the man's social blade where he is completely bleeding subs while trying to manufacture drama because he is now a drama channel by his own admission. Imagine being the guy bleeding subs who has to fabricate or manufacture drama for his dead drama channel. All for 309 views. I use that as a guide right here. That couldn't be me. The same guy who couldn't get a spicy worker to agree to sleep with him. Meanwhile, I'm trending upwards, which is my stuff. I'm trending upwards in subs, and he is trending downwards in subs. Let's continue on, though. You have clowns like Thor Odinson saying, and seemingly defamed Joe Sontag as intentionally setting out to rip off the Death Shroud guy. By the way, she does not mention Joe by name, so you are trying to use seemingly as a way to not say that she's doing it, even though she doesn't specifically name Joe in the clip that we're going to take a look at. Subscribe Heroes, slander the competition to get new indies to use their crappy service. Yes, the same crappy service that has so far delivered Achromatic Chronicles Green is going to deliver Mighty Golden Patriot as well as Death Shroud. Yes, that same crappy service that's delivered comics. Yeah, it's definitely some sort of crappy service even though they've delivered product. Why would Eric ever authorize one of his employees to go and attack what it is another company's business, which you're trying to be funny and use lingo, which makes you sound stupid, when it pertains specifically to that it is that he thinks he is the greatest at? That doesn't make sense in the given context. Again, you're trying to speak with slang and lingo that Eric uses, but you sound stupid. Please stop it. Get some help. Isn't Ripasend all hidden fees? No, it is not. A why not after all? Another failed attempt, you're also cringe, get wrecked. This is a person that actually has me blocked who's disagreeing with said Fraud Tony. Now, if we continue on, Fund My Comic directly addresses the situation, saying, out of curiosity, what are the allegations she is making? Perhaps I can clear something up. She says she is claiming creators are unable to fulfill campaigns due to getting hit with hidden fees that take all their budgeted money, or I could have said fulfill comics. Was she specific, or did she mention an actual campaign that was not able to fulfill because of quote-unquote hidden fees? She didn't say anyone specific. She didn't say anyone, anyone's campaign. We'd love to find out if we have any other fees besides our 1% upfront voluntary tip fees. We cannot control shipping and Stripe. Are there other fees mentioned? Not specific, always so with these types, which you, by your own admission, you admit that there are no other fees. You also admit that she doesn't specifically name anyone by name. But if that's not what you were talking about when it comes to not specifically naming someone, we will go ahead and pull up the clip and further show you that she didn't name anyone specifically. Throw out accusations without specifics to be safe legally. No, it's actually to protect the identity of the person she is talking about. That's what she would normally do, and that's what normally a lot of people would do. It's called PR speak. We find that disappointing and hope people will ask creators who are actually on our platform what being an FMC alum is like. I doubt whoever made that allegation has ever consulted a creator we have platformed. Even though we have had creators not leave us happy, it does occur. Again, she was talking about someone who used Indiegogo specifically when it came to hidden fees. That is what this idiot right here is talking about. You also have other clowns like Grey Cloudy Day saying, yeah, she says she feels sorry for creators using crowdfunding in general. I guess. Thus lumping all crowdfunding sites together as well as creators. It shows she really has no idea what she's talking about. More than likely she is talking about people who use the platform who don't receive anything when they purchase a product when it comes to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. We'll go ahead again and show that part of the clip. 2 words, tortious interference. The guy who doesn't know what tortious interference is. On our part, tortious interference only occurs if an outside party damages someone's ability to conduct commerce. So again, telling you what that means because dummies like you don't know what it means. We are involved with the campaigns and benefit from their successes, so that makes no sense. You asked Katie did for the clip. Of course, it's an exaggerated Katie did clip because always her thumbnails and her titles are all clickbait. So it's from Carrow Brown. Our mods have hunted it down. We will have to see if we need to address it. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We tend to get scrappy since we don't have corporate backing. Our word is everything we have. And you have Carrow Brown herself coming in saying, hello, I'm the one you're looking for. What I was trying to say was GoFundMe and not GoFund my comic, which you can hear in the clip, which I said we will pull it up. The truth is my dyslexia can manifest in speakos, quote unquote, which happens more if I'm speaking fast or excited. Sorry for the confusion. And Bruce nails it on the head as always when he says, it's the usual suspects just trying to form drama. Imagine those clowns having the audacity to use the words tortious interference when they and their cronies have repeatedly attempted that. The irony, yes, with things like the frivolous lawsuit, with the charity, the ministry, the frivolous fraud claims with the charity, comic books for kids. Y'all are room temp lemmings. You don't even know what constitutes tortious interference. Meanwhile, the guy who runs the Fund My Comic account specifically explained to you what tortious interference actually is. You are an absolute idiot for trying to tell someone else what tortious interference is when you yourself don't even know what it is. But you have other clowns like B.A. Turner. Why would you be talking about GoFundMe if the topic was comics and crowdfunding? Well, technically GoFundMe is a crowdfunding site, so that would make no sense. Specifically for anything they want, by the way. Of course, you have other clowns like Crusader Joe here, making claims that Carol said something that she clearly did not. Fund My Comic. Yeah, we did a transcript breakdown. We just had to do our due diligence, but thanks for reaching out. Names are similar. Thanks for the transparency. So it's all done and squashed, right? No, of course not, because, again, they have to fabricate drama because they have nothing going on, and their dead channels exist. So you stand by your hidden fee statements just meant it to apply to GoFundMe and Indiegogo as you're trying to fabricate drama as we speak. Crash Mondo says you're not an investigative journalist, just a terminally online retard. Give it up, weirdo. Exactly my point. Bruce again saying it's the usual suspects just trying to farm drama. And I already read this, so we're gonna move on. I think I already read this portion as well. Oh yes, he says no worries. His channel is available if he wants to hop on a stream to promote his business. Nobody should be doing that. Absolutely not. That is... No. Absolutely not. You are so stupid that you even went on as far as reposting your own statement, which is this one. What are we doing, bruh? Anyway, let's pull up the clip from old Katie Did's channel. Let's get into the clip really quick. Starting at 2 minutes and 23 seconds, which is where I need to put it at to give you the context.
Talking with somebody a little while ago, and they were telling me about how they can't go to Indiegogo because what happened was they got hidden feed into oblivion, so they lost.
So they got hidden feed into oblivion. An individual that there's no mention of, no name, no comic, no campaign, nothing.
Lost like they had budgeted for an allotment of like the profits that they had made, And so when Indiegogo came in and basically yoinked the money from them, they were like, well, we needed that to do our thing. It's like, oh, sorry, these were all the fees that we didn't tell you about before you launched your campaign.
So that's the budgeted thing that they needed it for. So they budgeted a certain way to make a certain amount of money to fund the comic, print the comic, ship the comic, and Indiegogo took fees, all these hidden fees from them, so they weren't unable to fulfill their project.
And so that's freaking wild that, you know, people are just out here wanting to create and make something, and they just keep running into like all these different obstacles in doing it, whether it be,
which is why something like Rip-A-Send was created, where the people that work at the warehouse, that work for the Rippaverse, take care of everything as far as printing, shipping, packaging, and all that stuff, while they just work on promoting their project.
From like, you know, the tribalism that we talked about. Chad Larson, we launched Death Shroud.
So far, Chad Larson is the only name she specifically stated as far as being the person who was there to launch the comic Death Shroud on Rip-A-Send.
On Rip-A-Send. And, you know, Rip-A-Send literally became birthed because we kept hearing these stories, these nightmare stories about either Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Go Fund My Comic, all that other stuff.
So there she goes and says, go fund my comic. Obviously, she meant GoFundMe, but she's talking also about Indiegogo and Kickstarter, which is funny that the Fraude Tony doesn't even mention Kickstarter at all. She only mentions Fund My Comic and Indiegogo, but didn't really care about Kickstarter whatsoever. So not only did he try to tag Indiegogo and Fund My Comic, as well as Eric July, who doesn't really care about the genre, neither does Carrow Brown herself, you literally try to take everything she said out of context when you have the clip available. You literally are just running damage control at this point, as you shifted the goalpost away to you could talk about your business on my channel as I sit there and defame somebody and make claims that didn't even happen. You made claims that she named a certain person. You had other people making claims that they named a certain person. Let's continue though, because there's actually more we need.
Stuff. But Chad Larson, like he when he made his comic, he had to deal with the tribalism, because at the time when he came out with Death Shroud, or he was working on it, he had Kane and White on the project. And when his team found out that Kane and White was associated with Comicsgate, because it was an okay thing to do back then, they said, you have to fire Kane and we can't have him on this project.
Yes, because apparently someone else working with someone that they disagree with, they must be removed or else.
And Chad was like, I'm not firing Kanan, right? And so when he didn't fire Kanan, like, he lost backers and he lost people because they didn't want to be associated with Comicsgate, right? And so,
although Kane and White is one of the people who make Rippaverse covers, but they're okay with that. So they're okay with one side but not the other. Be consistent, bruh.
Chad had to fight this battle uphill to finish getting the comic out. And the really sad thing is that when he did finally get the comic out, somebody in Comicsgate copied his idea, and then
she said somebody, realized she said somebody, didn't mention a name, by the way,
did a mirror campaign next to his, right?
Oh, did a mirror campaign. Who's the guy that said that? Oh, let's figure that out really quick. Where's the person that said that? Oh, it was Thor Odinson that said that, because he's a clown. Putting a name here, by the way, that she didn't even mention. She didn't mention Joe whatsoever. As you can tell, Carrow doesn't even know who that is. The man you claimed ran a Comicsgate mirror campaign of Death Shroud. As you heard in the clip, she didn't even mention him by name. And then on top of that, she doesn't even know who that is. So how do you make a claim? It's a false claim. It's clearly a false claim. You heard the clip. And now you see these people are trying to fabricate drama because they have nothing else going on. And as you can tell, like I said earlier, the dude is bleeding subscribers and views. So he has to fabricate drama or manufacture drama in order to get any sort of views at this point. And these are the dirty tactics these weirdos like to play, especially with Fraude Tony. Now he wants to do that, or as I call him, the moist back. This is the type of tactics he has to play now in order to get anyone to pay attention as he continues to bleed subs and bleed views, as I continue to go upward, and trend upward, and he continues to trend down. So Thank you all for checking out this video. Really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like the video, smash the like button. Comment below if you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.